का फिर से एक बार इस शो का डे चेंज हो गया एज यू ऑल नो फॉर द लास्ट ईयर. सो इट वाज मंडे, Wednesday, Friday at 12:30. अब दोस्तों आज से यानी कि ट्यूसडे से the show time remains the same, but it is now Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday 12:30 to 1:10 here on Glance Live here on Reposo. मैं हूं आपका साथी, आपका दोस्त, आपका सूत्रधार कभी कभी जेमी ऑल्टर. शो का नाम है द ऑल्टरनेट व्यू. अगर आप यहां पे पहली बार आए हैं तो आपका स्वागत है. अगर आप दोबारा आए हैं तो शुक्रिया दोस्तों. एंड एज ऑलवेज, ask questions, hit the like button, send some hearts, send some love my way because I want to know कि आप में से जो प्यारे प्यारे लोग जुड़े हैं इस शो से, जो क्रिकेट के फैंस हैं, क्रिकेट के प्रेमी हैं, आपको शो कैसे लग रहा है. You like the content, you like the flow, you want to ask me a question about the series, you want to ask me a question about the match, any player, any मुद्दा दोस्तों जो इंडियन क्रिकेट से जुड़ा है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं यहीं पे अपने लॉक स्क्रीन पे. जैसे कि आप जानते हैं शो के बीच में आपसे सवाल करूंगा पोल्स के जरिए. You have 30 seconds on the clock. बहुत ही सिंपल है, आपको बस yes टैप करना है या no टैप करना है. क्या आप मेरे सवाल से, इस पोल से सहमत है? नहीं है, आपको बस सिंपली yes टैप करना है और no टैप करना है. We're going to get this show started क्योंकि आज दोस्तों मतलब एक ही घंटे के अंदर पहला वनडे मैच दोस्तों between India and Sri Lanka will be starting. So to get the discussion going, I have an old friend of mine. हम दोनों दोस्तों बहुत बहुत साल पहले. Sahil is here. Sahil saying hi. Hi Sahil, how are you? तो मेरे एक दोस्त हैं और हम लोग एक समय पे कॉलीग्स थे ESPNcricinfo में. हिज नेम इज वेंकट राघव, अ वेरी डियर फ्रेंड एंड समवन हु आई एम रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू टॉक बिकॉज जब से मैंने क्रिकइन्फो छोड़ा साल 2010 में, हमारी जो बातें हुई है बाय एंड लार्ज देयर ओवर व्हाट्सएप और द ऑड फोन कॉल. सो विदाउट एनी फर्दर अड्यू लेट मी गेट माय ओल्ड फ्रेंड वेंकट राघव इन द हाउस. जोरदार से एक क्या कहूं हाइपोथेटिकल ऑनलाइन स्वागत या तालियां दीजिए वेंकट राघव के लिए. दृष्टि अग्रवाल पूछ रही व्हाट इज योर नेम? माय नेम इज जेमी ऑल्टर. आप पहली बार आए हैं दृष्टि यहाँ पे, स्वागत है आपका. बंदे का नाम है जेमी ऑल्टर और शो का नाम है द ऑल्टरनेट व्यू और इनका नाम वेंकट राघव.
हाय जेमी, हाउ आर यू?
अरे फॉर्मली पूछ रहे हो कैसे हो भाई, बहुत समय हो गया, कैसे हो?
मैं भी ठीक हूँ, बस परसों ही कनिष्का से मिला था तो वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट यू,
रेमिनिसिंग द ओल्ड टाइम्स.
या और गुड टू बी ऑन ऑल्टरनेट व्यू.
थैंक यू. अच्छा सबसे पहले बिफोर वी गेट दिस वेरी सीरियस डिस्कशन स्टार्टेड, आज भी अंडर आर्म क्रिकेट का वो जज्बा है ऑफिस में?
अभी तो है नहीं यार, मतलब अभी इट्स व्हाट डू यू से, इट्स मोर प्रोफेशनल. तो या एंड यू हैव आल्सो बिल्ट अप द इयर्स, तो थोड़ा बहुत एक फसाड रखना पड़ता है कि काफी प्रोफेशनल हो. अभी तो बैट सब टंगे होते हैं विथ नेल्स एंड एवरीथिंग इन द ऑफिस. तो या आई थिंक विथ क्रिकेट आल्सो बाय एंड लार्ज बहुत ज्यादा हो गया. जब हम लोग थे तो या आई थिंक वी कुड इनोवेट सम ऑफ आवर ओन स्ट्रोक्स.
स्ट्रोक्स के बारे में बात करें, हमारे व्यूअर्स बता दूं कि ये जो आपकी स्क्रीन पे है राघव, आई कॉल हिम द VVS लक्ष्मण फ्रंट फुट थंपर. इनका शॉट एक था लेकिन बहुत प्यारा शॉट था वो. आजकल वो शॉट आते हैं कहीं पे?
अरे खेल के ही बहुत दिन हो गए जेमी. आई थिंक इट्स बीन मोर देन 6 to 7 years since I've held a bat.
क्या बात है. Despite being someone who knows cricket and who lives and works cricket every day, strange, no?
Yeah, I think if you work cricket, I don't think there is any time left to play cricket.
Yeah.
I think ये भी प्लेयर्स का एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी है कि हाउ मच यू हैव प्लेड सवाल उनको पूछना नहीं पड़ेगा. और बट जोक्स अपार्ट, आई थिंक cricket has become a serious pursuit now than what it was maybe 5 to 10 years ago. Maybe like there are a lot of people who are glued onto cricket at any given point of time. So I think it's difficult to find time out of cricket. Very few people can do it. I think you might be one of them.
But just to address that, you're absolutely right, you know, and लाइट आ जाएगी वापस, देखो आ गई, होता है ये. You're absolutely right. And you know, you mentioned about 6 years ago, Raghav, it's been since you held the bat. It was about 6 years ago that मुझे यही एहसास हुआ जो तुम कह रहे हो कि यार हम क्रिकेट कवर कर रहे हैं, हम इतने बड़े क्रिकेट प्रेमी हैं, हम इस लाइन में आए थे and I'm not able to hold the bat. It was in 2016 in fact, जब me and some like-minded colleagues said, "Yeah, let's try our best to start playing cricket." तो हमने शुरुआत एक backyard में, playing with tennis ball. But within 2 months, we said, "Yeah, let's try and form a hardball team." And it wasn't easy, but I'm glad that me and some few friends took that decision, because you can imagine to get a chance to play every Saturday in this busy schedule, it's like a different world for us. So I hope you and the lovely guys at Cricinfo get that chance. We can keep on going about talking about the old days like we're some 65-year-old guys, but just one more thing I want you to also talk about, only Raghav, for the sake of our viewers. दोस्तों, मैं और राघव एक टाइम पे क्रिकेट में साथ थे. He's still there. What, 16 odd years you've been there now?
Yeah, I think I turned 16 this December 22nd.
क्या बात है, that is loyalty. But दोस्तों, मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि when we were covering a match, आपको शायद लगता है कि ये आसान काम है. I wouldn't say आसान, because someone like what Raghav does, you're doing ball by ball. You cannot afford to miss one thing. Just very briefly, just tell us about the highs and lows of doing what you do, because पहली बार someone who does what you do is on the show.
Yeah, so highs and lows, so we had experienced one low together. So highs, see, I mean, it's like any other job with what you want to do, like you might be working in India and all you might be thinking about is, oh, wish I could have caught up on that match and etc. Like I probably don't have that feeling like, okay, wish I could have caught up on that match. Yeah, like there's a lot of give and take. I mean, any given job, I think there's a lot of give and take. I think here it's a little bit more of take than give, maybe 52 48, 51 49. I mean, as long as it is 0.01 more than what it is, I mean, as a balance, it's okay. Yeah, and as for the lows, yeah, I think, see, sometimes you might miss out on things that are very dear to you, like some family functions, some get-togethers with friends, some things which you might want to be there at, but your work schedule will not allow you to be there at. But I think if you have worked as long as I have worked, probably you will get over it, and people also understand, and you develop a thick skin to their abuses and everything. So
well said, well said. And just one more thing for our viewers, आपको बता दूं कि खासकर जब भी बांग्लादेश क्रिकेट टीम खेलती थी, I'm talking about 2007-8, even in a test match, they had 3 left-arm spinners firing the ball so fast कि ball by ball जब 3 स्पिनर एक सेशन डाल रहे हैं, भाई वो बहुत मुश्किल होता है, especially those बांग्लादेश वेस्ट इंडीज मैचेस.
I think now that you have reminded about Bangladesh match, I think our combined low was a Bangladesh New Zealand match, which I think might make for a story when
It's a good story. It's a good story. I think I've told some part of this on a past show, but that definitely makes for a very not so happy New Year story.
yeah, but it's good to, I think it's good to think about it, and we can laugh about it right now, but I think it might get you out of the company at the very moment now.
अरे यार वो तो अलग टाइम था यार. We're talking about 14, 15 years.
2008 was it?
Yeah, I think it was I think it was New Year's 2007, because it was a Bangladesh West Indies series, so it was Jan 1st, 2007.
It was Bangladesh New Zealand, and
Bangladesh, New Zealand.
baseball played a part back then.
Because certain parts are ingrained. But,
Yeah.
चलो यार, let's get down to the serious talk, because I know how serious you Cricinfo people take cricket. Before we talk about आज का मैच, जब ये स्क्वाड अनाउंस हुआ था क्या 10-12 दिन पहले, what was your first reaction? Because आजकल squad announcements have a very different connotation because of BCCI, rest. You want to see कौन अंदर है कौन बाहर. What was your first reaction when you saw कि कौन नहीं है और कौन है?
See, when the squad was announced, I wasn't like, okay, I did not find it anything surprising, like when it comes to Indian cricket, I think it is more about whom will you fit into the 11, whom will you like try players as such, and all those things. Like, unfortunately, Pant's accident has put him out of the reckoning, but with him around the mix, I think it would have been a little bit more painful for the selectors, but I had a feeling that Pant was growing out of favor in terms of the white ball cricket, because I think with Ishan Kishan making rapid strides in white ball cricket, which includes T20I as well. So I think Pant was, in my eyes, was close to getting out of favor with the selectors in terms of being in the playing 11. So, because I have a feeling that when it comes to the World Cups, no, as a wicket keeper, India tends to prefer someone who can bat, who's a better batter than a wicket keeper, maybe. So, I think in those terms, Rahul stood a better chance than Pant if the serious 11s were taking into consideration, like not your rotation policies and all without them existing. I have always felt that Rahul would have been, because I think the criticism on Rahul per se is with the T20 batting that he does. I think, yeah. So I think he's a good fit to the ODI cricket as Shubman Gill seems to be right now. And it's good to see that Shubman Gill has been given chances to prove his credentials. Like having a captain's backing is a good thing, I feel. But on the other hand, you also feel for Ishan Kishan because the knock that he played in Bangladesh, I think though it was a dead rubber match, I think it was very good that he played that sort of a knock.
Big statement, Raghav. Big statement.
Yeah. So to not have him in the 11 takes a lot of doing. I think, I mean, in terms of backing a player, India has done a very good thing by telling Gill that, hey, look, we are going to give you better chances to perform. But I think he will have to repay them soon enough, like score a few centuries maybe.
Correct.
So
We'll talk about these three players you mentioned because they're very very vital pieces. Keeping in mind जो 10 महीने बाद वनडे वर्ल्ड कप शुरू होने वाला है, and I'll ask you specifically, but just before we get there, रोहित शर्मा ने कहा था बांग्लादेश ओडीआई से पहले कि अभी, and this was hardly a month ago, कि यार we're not looking at the one day world cup यार. उस समय मेरे लिए this was a bit of an alarming thing because it is only 10 and a half, 11 months away, and because we've seen the kind of focus that Greg Chappell brought in 2011 and then Dhoni and Kirsten brought in. Do you think right now, चलिए बांग्लादेश को भूल जाओ, we have a new series, it's actually the World Cup year. Do you think this team has finally decided to lock in that, let's say, core 15-20 players, or you think अभी भी कुछ surprising left field picks आ सकते हैं, maybe एक successful IPL के बाद?
It's very difficult to say that they have zeroed in on they might have zeroed in on their 15 plus 5 players whom they might give chances to, like in the run up to the World Cup. Like you say, when it comes to exactly white ball cricket, like the selections can be cross format, like you might have a very good IPL and you might not be in the plans for the team, but you might come into reckoning if you have a great IPL. And India, like we know, in the run up to 2019 World Cup, they tried so many people for the number 4 slot, and yet they did not go in with a player by zeroing in on a player for that number 4 slot in 2019 World Cup. So I think that might be at the back of the minds of people who are still there from the 2019 World Cup in the team, and they might want some stability in the run up to the World Cup. But the problem is, I think they have only 9 home ODIs
Exactly.
up in the run up to the World Cup. So, I mean, how much can they try? I think it's the bowling that looks a little unsettled to me because with the Bumrah situation playing out as it is, I think, and with Shami coming back from an injury, you need someone to perform in these 9 ODIs, and which means that there must be a couple of bowlers who should play all those 9 ODIs.
I'm going to quickly put up our first poll for our viewers. Viewers, आपके पास 30 सेकंड है अपने लॉक स्क्रीन में. बहुत आसान है, आपको बस yes टैप करना है या no टैप करना है. This is only for the viewers. Meanwhile, Raghav and I will keep talking. First poll is, दोस्तों, at this point, do you think India have a good core for the Cricket World Cup? in 10 months' time. 30 seconds on the clock for you both to for the viewers to cast your vote. I will come back now, Raghav, to the very pertinent or let's say the trending issue of Ishan Kishan ko bahar ho gaya. I get it, like you said, जब आप एक dead rubber जो भी match है, when you score the fastest double century in one day history, you have made a big statement, right? I thought it was a big chance because Pant, even before that unfortunate accident, Pant had been rested from this series, and you assume कि जिस बंदे एक तो लेफ्टी है, ओपनर है, कीपर ऑप्शन है, जब वो 210 मारता है तो his chances would have gone much higher. But like you rightly said, you have to reward what Shubman Gill has done. Viewers are divided. वो कह रहे हैं 50% कह रहे हैं हाँ core है और 50% कह रहे हैं नहीं है. But just to come back to this Gill versus Ishan Kishan debate, I'll just put up a picture of these two players. Shubman Gill, Raghav, you know, I hope our viewers know, he had a very good year last year in one days. He played because of this same rest and rotation policy. But when you get 100, when you're averaging about 70 or when you're striking at 100 plus, you have done something right. But just to pick up on something you said, अब बंदे को reward करना पड़ेगा. You said 2-300s, वो है. But do you think he can do something what Ishan Kishan can do? Because एक तरफ आपके पास रोहित शर्मा है, 35 साल के हैं, injury prone है. Third, you have Virat Kohli, all-time white ball legend, but he's not a Virat Kohli getting any younger. Do you think perhaps they need to find that, let's say, fourth opener for the lack? Let's say Gill आपका third opener है or second opener. Do they need that one option जो थोड़ा वो Ishan Kishan type innings खेल सके? Given the fact that he also has a very risky game though.
See, मेरे हिसाब में कि I feel that if Ishan Kishan, I don't think Shubman Gill can play an Ishan Kishan sort of a knock, but I think the payoff with Shubman Gill, if he gets into his groove and if he gets into a good form, is that he might carry that form longer than what Ishan Kishan maybe does. Like if we had seen in under 19 cricket, जब न्यूजीलैंड में खेला गया था, I think Gill did not get dismissed over there, if I'm not wrong. So Gill has the tendency to maintain his form.
Yeah.
So I think that might be the reason why he might be given a long rope. Because he might pay you back immediately. And as I said, like the white ball cricket, the two formats are not seen independently right now. I think if you perform in one, you can be assured that you can get to perform in the other format as well. So that's where Ishan Kishan maybe lacks, because I think his form in T20 international cricket has been nothing good. I mean, it's harsh to say that nothing good, but he hasn't done anything path-breaking in T20 international cricket like he has done in ODI cricket, like play like Suryakumar Yadav maybe.
Correct.
So yeah, I think that might be the thing I think in that way Shubman Gill is lucky that he doesn't get to play T20 cricket as often as Ishan Kishan does.
For that same harsh judgment that you just spoke about. Yeah.
So yeah, I think if I were to be the selector, like you mentioned, Rohit Sharma being injury prone, like we don't know, like without the numbers at my hand and everything, just looking at a few past matches, it seems Rohit has missed more matches than what he has played, either by rotation or by injuries.
Absolutely.
Quite another thing. So I think these 9 matches, and I think India play West Indies for a couple or 3 ODIs. So yeah, I think the core needs to play. I mean, I feel that India should have had finalized their core by now.
Yeah. That's why that Bangladesh statement was surprising for me at least. कि भाई 11 महीने में World Cup है, you don't know.
Yeah, I think that's maybe to just tell people that, hey, look, we are planning, we don't want to let you into our plans and all those things. And also, if you look at it the other way, no, Jimmy, like I think in the run-up to this 2023 World Cup, all the teams have played a lot lesser matches in that 4-year interval than they generally tend to. Like I think you would have played at least 50 to 60 matches by now in the 4-year interval. But I think no team must have played more than, or a couple of teams only would have played 50 ODIs in the 2019 to
Yeah.
23 World Cup. So
Yep.
that becomes a huge issue.
Yep. Let's see. I'm going to bring up another poll for our viewers here, dosto. This is in regards to the person on your screen. Very simple again, 30 seconds only for the viewers. Do you see Shubman Gill as a World Cup opener? If yes, then just tap the yes button. If no, then go ahead and tap the no button. We've discussed Gill now. अब आते हैं ईशान किशन. Like you said, he plays two roles. Opener है slash middle order, but वो keeper भी है. And when I saw that that KL Rahul was confirmed, I sort of had almost the same thoughts of you कि यार वर्ल्ड कप के साल में ना वो बैट्समैन को थोड़ा ज्यादा वैल्यू करते हैं. And we saw Rahul Dravid do this as well, 2003 World Cup, that whole time. Whether it's right, wrong, I mean, you and I, Raghav, are no one to go on about that. But the stats actually show that KL Rahul के middle order में आंकड़े बहुत अच्छे. He's averaging 44 something. The strike rate is 100 plus. So there is room. But that said, you not want a more skilled keeper in that job. That's my only concern. I have no problem with Rahul, the one day middle order batsman, but 9 ODIs हो या 12 ODIs हो, उसके बाद वर्ल्ड कप तक. Let's assume that Pant comes back, but he's not in favor, right? Is KL Rahul the best man to keep wickets? I don't think so.
See, like I said, India has this love towards keepers, like who are basically batters, but who can keep.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So I think if the slot for the keeper batter is between KL Rahul and Ishan Kishan in a way right now, I think
It seems like it, no?
yeah, I think the needle will be bending towards KL Rahul more than, because see, in a way, like I tend to see cricket as a normal job, like you are not looking towards days where everything is okay and everything is going well. You are planning for days when your team might be 59 for 5 or some sort of thing. So I think a KL Rahul might, like he did in Bangladesh, where he scored that 70 odd
The first match, yeah.
first match. So I think that sort of an innings KL Rahul might play. It's not to say that Ishan Kishan doesn't play that. He hasn't played that sort of an innings. He hasn't got an opportunity to play that sort of an innings as of now. And he won't get also because he's pigeonholed into being an opener rather than a middle order batter right now. So I think as of 2023 World Cup, the needle is slightly tilted towards KL Rahul in my eyes than Ishan Kishan. What would you think about that?
I'm gonna ask the same question to our viewers here. Do you agree with Rahul keeping wickets instead of Ishan Kishan? I get it. Again, like I said, I have my apprehensions about Rahul, given all that you just said, given the pressure on him to hold down that slot. और अपने viewers को बता दूं कि he can be a finisher. And once again, दोस्तों, finisher का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप मैच खत्म करो, आपको पारी भी खत्म करनी पड़ती है. And KL Rahul has done Hardik Pandya type things many times. He had a stint where he was finishing off matches with the flurry of boundaries. And I agree with Raghav. In that regard, Ishan Kishan cannot fill that role. My only doubt is he good enough to keep wickets throughout the year as well as in the cauldron of a World Cup? That I'm not sure. 75% of our viewers are saying yes, Rahul should be keeping. So I get where it's coming from, because KL Rahul is that rare 3 format batsman who can open and he can also bat in the middle order. That's my thing, and I hope he does it, because we've seen long before Suryakumar Raghav started doing Suryakumar Yadav things, KL Rahul was the closest batsman we had to play that kind of batting. So I hope for India's sake and for Rahul's sake that he's able to flourish in the middle order.
Yeah, like you have mentioned a little while ago while talking about KL Rahul that injuries and all that. Like KL Rahul has also become an injury prone batter in the recent past, Like, see, even if they go with KL Rahul, I'm pretty sure that as the number one keeper of choice for these games, I feel that come the World Cup, Ishan Kishan might be playing a couple of games where Rahul might have a niggle or two, because he's not used to, nor has he kept for such a long time. So I think Ishan Kishan shouldn't be losing hope if that goes wrong or anything. Because
Yeah, yeah.
see, I think he will get his chances in the World Cup. It will be a long drawn World Cup, and he'll get his chances. So, so I think Ishan Kishan will be in the scheme of the things, but now, I mean, with the injury and with the little time that he has to get ready, I don't see Pant in the scheme of the things for
Yeah,
this.
it's just
So
so unfortunate what happened to him because शायद वो scheme में होता, but अभी to come back from an injury of that nature in a World Cup year, you just feel really bad for the guy, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm not writing him off or anything. In a normal sense, the way world normally functions, I don't see him. I don't see that he has the time to
No, yeah, it's true.
make a comeback.
True, true.
I
Okay,
hope he does though.
absolutely. We hope he does. Now, we have talked about this middle order, right? KL Rahul एक जगह तो वो ले गया. Now you have Kohli at 3. Now there's this fight. On the one hand, this guy on our screen is just doing things which were unfathomable in one format. His one-day record is decent. It's not bad. It's not good. But how do you now fit him in? अगर कीपर ईशान किशन होते तो एक जगह ना KL Rahul middle order में. Shreyas Iyer, what the guy averaged about 70 last year. Are we looking at a shootout between Iyer, who's done outstandingly well in one days last year, and this guy who seems like you have to fit him in? रोहित ने कल थोड़ा dodge किया इस सवाल को.
Like, I also felt this shouldn't be a question in my opinion. Just a sec, my battery is a little low.
कोई नहीं.
Yeah, so this shouldn't
It shouldn't be, yeah.
this shouldn't be a question in my opinion, because I think, like you say, Shreyas Iyer should be the one among the first names to be written down on the paper when it comes to ODI cricket. I'm pretty sure, without even looking at the numbers, he must be in the top 3 in the ODI numbers in the 4-year period that has been there between the World Cups. So yeah, again,
He scored the most runs for India last year in one days.
yeah, so see, that's the thing. And he, considering that the World Cup is going to be played in India, he is a supremely agile batsman against spinners. So I think that factor, till again, nothing against Suryakumar Yadav, but
Right.
like, uh, uh, in my eyes, Shreyas Iyer has done what I wanted Shubman Gill to do. So I think he should be in the playing 11 for the World Cup.
Let me just quickly ask that same question to our viewers. While we talk, viewers, simple सा बात है. Sky चाहिए आपको middle order में. Shreyas Iyer, Raghav and I are saying we're on the same page. Given all that this guy's achieved, like you rightly said, बात सिर्फ 2022 की नहीं है. What this guy, the numbers he stacked up in one-day cricket over the last 3 years are very, very good. और राघव, एक critical चीज तुमने अभी कही, वर्ल्ड कप कहाँ होने वाला है? घर पे. All this while we've heard के short ball against arguably the best white ball pace bowling attack. Hardly 2 months ago, Nokia, Rabada, Parnell, Nigidi, this guy was swatting them around in that one-day series. तो short ball technique इंडिया में मेरे हिसाब से वो तो कहीं से जमता नहीं है. And the viewers have responded. 100% of the viewers are saying, भाई, Shreyas Iyer in the middle order.
That's
Short ball doesn't work in India, यार. One day match है, मारो.
That's a resounding. I mean, if it is 100% in favor of Shreyas Iyer, that's a resounding majority. In the sense that at least some people would have voted. Like, see, I'll give you an example. After the exploits in T20 cricket in New Zealand itself, where Suryakumar Yadav scored a century and all that, like, my expectations out of him were, ये ODI में भी करके दिखाएगा, like he will
Same.
rack up huge numbers in, but I don't hold it against him that he did not get runs there. I was a little disappointed with the way he got out rather than, not making the runs. So that's the only thing. Nothing that ki हाँ यार ये है वो है.
Correct.
So yeah, like you said, another crucial thing is that there's an IPL in between the World Cup, and because by the time IPL starts, I think 6 of the 9 ODIs India are going to play at home would be done.
Correct. तीन
So,
सर्विस, तीन न्यूजीलैंड, करेक्ट.
so India would have. I mean, Rohit Sharma might not say that, but I think India would have.
सॉरी सॉरी टू कट यू ऑफ. वो 9 हो जाएंगे क्योंकि ऑस्ट्रेलिया टेस्ट के बाद 3 वनडे मैच भी हैं, तो 9 तो हो जाएंगे आईपीएल से पहले भाई.
फिर उसके बाद आई थिंक अगस्त में ऑस्ट्रेलिया आर कमिंग बैक फॉर 3 more ODIs, I guess.
They're coming back, but there are 3 after the 4 टेस्ट मैच बॉर्डर
Yeah.
क्लास. 3 है तो 9 अपने वही हो गए. वेस्ट इंडीज टूर शायद जुलाई में है, वहां
हाँ.
भी 3 है शायद. हाँ,
तो आई एम श्योर इन द रन अप टू द वर्ल्ड कप कुछ और सीरीज फिट इन किए जाएंगे.
हो जाएगा, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
But then, I think by the IPL time, before the IPL starts, India should have figured out their playing 11, with the only contentious issue being how will Bumrah stand up.
करेक्ट.
So I think then I would be happy if Arshdeep Singh and Umran Malik combinedly are given a run. But with Shami coming off the injury, I think he also deserves a bigger run.
Yeah.
Siraj has done well, so
It's funny how we think. My gut feeling was अगर बुमराह नहीं है, I would like to see, like you said, Arshdeep and Umran both play. एक लेफ्ट आर्मर है, बहुत ही शातिर डेथ बॉलर है, और दूसरा बंदा है 150 मारते हैं तो खिलाओ. But like you just said, यार, how do you keep out? Even Siraj has done so well. Siraj is that stop gap bowler. वो खेलता है जब कोई rested है ना. How do you go? So I'm going to ask the same question to our viewers here. Who should replace Bumrah, Umran or Arshdeep? But please go on about this whole Umran Arshdeep debate here.
like see, I mean after the second T20I where Arshdeep bowled those no balls and Hardik had said that we lost because of those no balls.
Big statement, huh? To not back your bowler खुले में.
Yeah, and then I felt that अरे ये क्या है यार? How can he come out in the open? This was like that Sehwag putting down Srishant when he got the Player of the Match award.
Yep.
So I thought, how can Arshdeep recover from this? Because the captain saying, I mean, he did not say it, but it was as good as saying that, hey, dude, we lost because of you.
Big statement, yeah.
But I think a small comfort at that point was Dravid came out and said, this happens to anybody.
Sure.
But then what delighted me was the fact that in the third T20, Arshdeep was there in the 11. So Hardik said whatever he wanted to say. I think.
And he played, correct.
Yeah, it might have been the truth as well. We never know. But then to see that he was playing the third T20 and he seemed to be in good spirits, like laughing towards the end of the game and all that. I think, like, for the lack of better words in English, in Hindi they would say jigra hai usme.
Correct, yeah.
So yeah, and I think Arshdeep can take some hitting and get back in the same game as well, so I have good hopes on Arshdeep, and also he's a left armer, so
Correct.
and like again, as I said, let's say that he bowls 5 or 6 overs first up, he might create some rough or some things on the pitch for the spinners to work on.
This guy here on our screen, अब देखो, we know कि ये बंदा क्या कर सकता है, right? In 6 one-day matches, 3 New Zealand और यहाँ बांग्लादेश में, his economy, Umran Malik's economy is 6. That's not something you क्या कहूँ, you automatically assume of a bowler of his speed. You assume कि ये run देगा. But that for me was a very revealing stat, because I think जहाँ हम बात कर रहे Umran Malik की, Raghav, please share your views. तो टॉस हो चुका है. I think it's about how he is used. बात ये नहीं कि ये खेलेगा नहीं खेलेगा. जब खेलेगा, how do you use him is the question for Umran Malik.
I think when it comes to Umran Malik, if you have to plug, I mean, if you see him as someone who gives away a lot of runs and you have to plug, I think he gives you an easy option of plugging the runs. I mean, see, again, I haven't seen the stats or am I totally confident about it, but I feel a lot of runs of Umran come behind the square. I mean, off edges, like.
Give it the pace. If you miss time a shot of him, you're getting a 4 minimum, if not 6 by fact.
Yeah. So I think he give that if you are willing to work around that factor a little bit, I think he is an easier option कि हाँ यार ये चौके चक्के खाएगा कुछ but wicket भी लेगा. I mean, so I think having Umran Malik in the 11 sometimes will assure you that you won't have those irritating partnership the tail seems to build up against India sometimes.
नहीं वो होता है भाई. It's a problem, and death bowling, despite the gains this team has made, death bowling still remains a problem in both one days and T20s. So just for that, I would like to see not just Umran, I would like to see Arshdeep also play as many matches. But जैसे कि तुमने कहा भाई, it would be harsh on someone like a Mohammad Shami. टॉस हो चुका है, आपको बता दो श्रीलंका opt to bowl. Rohit has said we're very very happy opting to bat. Before we come to the last discussion here, all-rounders का जो मुद्दा है, Akshay Patel was just man of the series in the T20s. He's played a lot more matches than Washington Sundar has, because Sundar frankly has also been very injury prone as well.
Yes.
It seems to be, we haven't got the teams yet unless you have. It's a shootout. Hardik Pandya hai. It's a shootout between Akshay Patel and Washington Sundar. आज की मैच छोड़ो, इस सीरीज को छोड़ो. In fact, they have indeed gone with Akshay Patel. Keeping in mind those 9 ODIs and the road to the one day, do you, Raghav, have a clear opinion on whether it should be Akshar or Washington?
I feel it should be Akshar क्योंकि yeah, because I think see Washington Sundar again, he played very well in New Zealand, where one like I think in one game he molded himself to the demands of the team, you know, like he played one end up when the team required it, and then he started hitting his no look shots and all that and all those things. But then I think again Akshar, when he has got the chances, like it comes back to again those two white ball formats being look like you can perform in one and get selected in the other, sort of a thing, you know, like Akshar's recent record holds up very well.
Yeah.
So, and the 60 that he scored, and the speed that he scored, like taking down one of the best leg break bowlers going around right now, I think that would be in the mind of people. So, I mean, I would give Akshar the spot then, because I feel that Akshar and Hardik both will play in terms of the making up the balance of the team, you know.
And then not too long from now, we'll see that man called Ravindra Jadeja also come back. While we're talking, I put the same question to our viewers. They're also split. 50% are saying Akshar, 50% are saying Washington Sundar. But I will go with you. I also, given all that Akshar has achieved, or left arm spinner का थोड़ा एक extra होता है. Let's quickly talk. We literally have 2 minutes left. Playing 11, nothing surprising. Rohit, Shubman, Virat, Shreyas, very very good. I think we're both happy with that.
Yeah.
Rahul, I said he's keeping Hardik Pandya, Akshay Patel, Mohammad Shami, Umran Malik, Mohammad Siraj, Yuzvendra Chahal. बात वही है राघव, Umran versus Arshdeep की debate हो चुकी है. But like I said, in 6 ODIs, he's only giving runs at 6 per over. That probably was the factor, and of course the pace, 155. Overall, this is a pretty expected lineup, no?
I think yes, because like I feel कि ये लोग they are preparing for the World Cup with the fact that one slot is booked for Bumrah. So he will come back into the 11 when he walks into the squad.
Correct.
So yeah, I think given the pitch, I mean given where they are playing and given the 11, I think they have chosen pretty much. Like I would have wanted Arshdeep, but I don't know in place of whom over here, you know. Like it would have been tough to drop anyone. But post 2023 World Cup, I think it will be Arshdeep and Umran both will play in the 11.
Correct. So yeah, that was the 11. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at. I'm giving it one more glance. Maybe you would have said, yeah, चलो मोहम्मद सिराज क्योंकि वो stop gap का role निभाते आ रहे हैं. But the fact is, he's done very well in that stop gap role, especially up front. तो आपको वो चाहिए. चलो Shami's been picked because he's Mohammad Shami. But yeah, overall it seems a very very safe 11. चलिए my friend, we've totally run out of time. वेंकट राघव, बहुत अच्छा लगा तुमसे एक बार फिर से बात करने का. Wish you all the best. I hope you get some more off days, because I know how hectic आजकल का calendar है यार. But absolute pleasure, man, catching up with you again.
Same here, Jamie. Same.
Thank you to all of you.
We'll meet in person soon enough.
Soon enough, soon enough. I need to get down to Bangalore more often. So
Yeah.
thank you to you. Thank you to all the viewers who watched, all the people